From May 1926, the rigors of the rules regarding her diet began to slacken. But what she ate was, after all, extremely little. It might be called a small child's ration. 4 or 5 years after she had stopped taking food with her own hands, some of her bhaktas expressed their great eagerness to see her do so once again. At their request, she agreed to try and sat down with the dishes spread before her. But after putting a pinch of food into her mouth, she gave some to others and rubbed the rest on the floor. She could not eat it all. After this, nobody ever asked her to eat with her own hands. She said, "I look upon all hands as mine. Actually, I always eat with my own hands." From her early days, everybody noticed her skill in neat homecraft, in the art of cooking, and her gracious manner of entertaining guests. Whatever she did was done to perfection. She could spin very beautifully and weave cloth on a hand loom. Her needlework, hosiery, and cane work were superb. They showed an extraordinary degree of intelligence and skill. When she found others unable to do a piece of work, she would come to their aid and, to their surprise, accomplish it with ease. Dishes of food prepared by her were delicious, and therefore, wherever a feast took place, she was always requested to direct the cooking. Mother felt great delight in distributing food to all persons, adults as well as children. She would forego food and all personal comforts to satisfy others. On one occasion, when a sadhu came from Gujarat to Shabak in Dhaka, with the hem of her sari, she rubbed his seat clean and entertained him with her usual humility and sweetness. The dish of food was so neatly served that it appeared to be sanctified by her great love and selfless spirit of service. And on leaving, the sadhu said, "Today I have taken food from the hands of the Mother of the world. I have never in my life been served with such care and purity." As long as she could, she cooked for all her devotee children, and with her motherly affection served the food to them. Prasad received from her hands roused unprecedented joy in the hearts of devotees. Many mysterious incidents happened at the distribution of prasad. One day, the wife of the late Niranjan Roy brought some oranges for Mother. Mother herself distributed them for everybody present and exclaimed, "I want prasad from Mother's hands." The number of oranges was very small. Too many were the claimants. There was every chance of oranges falling short. But Mother's ways are inscrutable. Everyone got an orange, and there was not a single one left over. Another day, there was a kirtan party in Niranjan's house at Dhaka. Food for about 50 to 60 people was prepared, but the number of guests swelled to around 120. Mother noticed it until the end of the serving, stood in a corner of the room where the food was kept. When all had eaten, it was found that some food was yet left over. By way of offerings to Mother, food and clothes came in abundance to the ashram. After partaking of a small particle of the food offered, or wearing a piece of cloth for a short while, she would distribute everything amongst the people assembled. Thereafter, she would laugh cheerfully, and people offered Mother precious gold and silver ornaments, shell bangles, glass churis, and many other things. At times, these ornaments were massed on her forearms. She received all things, great and small, precious or trivial, with equal grace. But she never cared to inquire who had presented them or what became of them afterwards. Many ornaments were given away, and what remained was melted into a lump and spent over the ornaments for the images in the ashram temples. She had never more than 2 changes of saris to wear. She would often give away one out of the 2, but it so happened that as soon as one was given away, another sari would be offered to her. When I went to Calcutta from Dhaka, I used to put up a house at Sri Janendranath Sen. He was more than an elder brother to me. His wife, the late Mrs. Hiranmayi Devi, looked upon me as her own younger brother. Such a loving soul with such extraordinary simplicity, purity, devotion to her husband, and uncommon tactfulness to please the guests and members of her household was quite rare. Attracted by her goodness, Mother also used to go and see her occasionally. Once, when Mother was staying at Calcutta, I went to see her. A devotee made her put on a sari of a fine Dhaka fabric. It had been arranged that Mother would go to Jan Babu's house. I went ahead as I informed that Mother was going somewhere else on her way. I purchased a sari of medium quality, hoping that when Mother would arrive at Babu's place, this new sari would be presented to her, and Mother would naturally leave the finer and costlier one for Jan Babu's wife. I did not disclose my motive to anybody. Mother arrived at Jan Babu's place, but to my dismay I found that she was wearing a very ordinary sari, as the fine Dhaka fabric which she wore before had been left at the place she visited on her way. I was surprised, but Mother laughed each time she looked at me. Nobody present could understand the meaning of her laugh. I later confessed to Mother with what a foolish motive I had purchased the sari. I have given above some instances of Mother's extraordinary, meager diet. A few examples may also be cited showing how at times she took abnormally large quantities of food. After she had for about 8 or 9 months eaten daily about 2 ounces of rice mixed with dal, boiled in a small bowl over a sacrificial fire, it was settled one day that she should have a normal quantity of food. But everybody pressed her to eat more, and she asked them to bring all the food prepared, sufficient for 8 or 9 persons. She ate it all up. On another occasion, she smilingly took 60 to 70 puris and a corresponding quantity of dal and vegetables, followed by a large bowl of rice boiled in thick milk. There was an instance when she ate up rice pudding prepared for about a huge group of people, about 20 kilograms, and when the whole of it was exhausted, she exclaimed, "I want to eat more. Please give me more kheer." According to full prejudice, a few drops of the sweet dish were sprinkled on the sari covering of her head, that was covering her head, lest the influence of the evil eye of the people witnessing the event cause any illness to Mother. It was found later that the spots where the drops fell looked as if scorched by fire. A few minutes after she had taken food in abnormally large quantities, there was an extraordinary expression on her face. She used to say on such occasions, "At the time of eating, I did not know that I was swallowing so much food. It was from you that I first came to learn about it. At that time, whatever things you might suggest, offer, good or bad, even grass or leaves, would have been consumed." But there was no physical disorder to be noticed after such eating. Furthermore, she would often perform many strange feats that came into her head, but however abnormal, they did not result in any adverse consequences. Just as offerings to God, sanctified by mantras, flowers, and sandal paste, and dedicated with earnestness, fill the mind with a serene pleasure, so also presents to Mother, if offered with wholehearted devotion, bring immense satisfaction and joy to the devotee. We have seen that such commonplace and trifling things as fried rice or fried patty and quite ordinary fruits were accepted by her like a treasure. Ordinary vegetable curry without salt or kheer without sugar were eaten up by her with great avidity, and out of fullness of her heart. She would even invite others present to partake of the pleasure of eating. On the other hand, in many cases, when very rare and valuable foodstuffs procured with much difficulty was brought to her lips, her mouth closed up at the first touch. The late Sri Tarak Bandhu Chakravarti, the retired inspector of schools, lived in Dhaka and came walking about 5 miles with some pure sandish, a special Bengali sweet, prepared at his house from his own cow's milk. It was not yet dawn when he arrived. Mother was still in bed. Like an impatient child, the old man called out, "Ma, I have brought you some sweets, some sandish. prepared with special care. Won't you eat them? Mother sat up on her bed, and without having washed her face, mouth, or hands, she at once began to eat the sweets from the hands of the old man. She clapped her hands with joy. Tears of gratitude for his mother's childlike love and affection rolled down Tarak Babu's cheeks. Another day, a man was coming to Mother with some sweets prepared. When she was nearly half a mile away, Mother suddenly laughed loudly and said, "Sweets are arriving for me." She sat up like a child, eager to eat them. There were occasions when, on someone's arrival, she would exclaim, "Bring out what you have brought for me." She expressed her delight at the presents with many merry, playful jokes. On the other hand, incidents are not rare when people had to wait for a long time with their offerings, but Mother would not even care to look at them.